Well, the 2024 presidential election is heating up, and we're already starting to talk about picks for vice president. The Gateway Pundit reports that Tucker Carlson responds to becoming Donald Trump's vice president. Will this happen? We have this story and so much more coming up on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name's Elijah Schaffer, and I hope your weekend was as good as mine. Our top story today is about Donald Trump's choice for vice president. The Gateway Pundit reports that Tucker Carlson, formerly of Fox News and now of his own program on X, discusses the possibility of being Trump's vice president. The Gateway Pundit previously reported that former Fox News host and current X Twitter star Tucker Carlson is garnering VP consideration from conservatives and members of President Trump's team. Now Tucker has responded to these calls. As Semaphore reported, Tucker gave the keynote speech Thursday night at the American Principles Project Foundation's Christmas Gala, where he spoke about his Christian faith, optimism, and an America where everything's fallen apart. And afterward, an audience member asked to address his VP reports. While Tucker did not wholly roll out serving as Trump's sidekick, he said God would have to yell at me very loud. He also expressed anxiety about transitioning from being well-paid private citizen to becoming a politician. To go from being like a well-paid street corner schizophrenic to like a politician is just kind of hard to envision. And we know his traditional laugh. Now, it turns out that Melania is actually his number one supporter and wants him to be the VP with Trump. Should Trump listen to his wife on this matter, or should he listen to his advisors? We know that Trump did a pretty poor job choosing certain advisors like Jared Kushner, who ended up putting foreign interests above that of the U.S., and many other swamp rats, including the very much hated and universally despised Dr. Anthony Fauci. May he rest in piss, and I won't apologize for saying that. We'll see what happens in that position. Speaking of good leaders, it turns out something else has developed in regards to the mRNA vaccine that was pushed upon all of us. Developing Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo confirms detection of DNA fragments in the COVID mRNA vaccines. The Florida Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, is demanding answers from Dr. Robert M. Califf, the Commissioner of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, regarding the detection of host cell DNA fragments in mRNA COVID-19 vaccines developed by Pfizer and Moderna. Now, when you go down a little bit into the article, you can read what he said. He said, your ongoing decision to ignore many of the risks associated with mRNA COVID-19 vaccines, alongside your efforts to manipulate the public into thinking that they are harmless, have resulted in deep distrust in the American healthcare system, beginning with Operation Warp Speed and possibly to be continued with an additional $5 billion investment in Project NextGen. The federal government has relentlessly forced a premature vaccine into the arms of the American people with little to no concern for the serious adverse ramifications. Data are unequivocal. After the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, the vaccine adverse events reporting system reported an increase of 1,700%, including 4,400% increase in life-threatening conditions. We'd like to know what's inside the vaccines. I didn't get it. And I've been an outspoken advocate against all of the vaccines and the boosters. Maybe you did get it. But now we're seeing that there are a lot of adverse effects. If you're tracking the whistleblower story in New Zealand, the individual who let things go there, he basically exposed their social healthcare system, that the amount of people who died from COVID vaccine-related complications was almost equal to that were reported to have died of COVID. Now, we know they over-exaggerated the COVID death number. They killed a lot of people by forcing them on ventilators, giving them remdesivir, and also people died from other viruses, and they died with COVID, not from COVID. Now, they're saying that only 1 or 3 people in New Zealand died from the vaccine. The other people had pre-existing conditions, so they didn't really die from the vaccine. Oh, you mean kind of like people didn't really die from COVID? Interesting. Well, if you're going to apply the same standards you did to COVID deaths to the vaccine, then yeah, the vaccines might have hurt as many people as they allegedly helped. I don't even think they helped at all, according to my medical background and what I understand, but that's between you and your own personal beliefs. Good news for Trump's team, switching gears here. Exclusive, the FBI report on a late-night ballot fraud operation in Georgia in 2020 exonerates Rudy Giuliani and implicates Chris Wray. Chris Wray's FBI, along with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and Secretary of State Raffensperger's office, released a report in June that concluded that they did not uncover any violations during their investigation of the late-night ballot counting at the State Farm Center in Atlanta, Georgia on Election Day, November 3rd, 2020. According to the report, teams of investigators from the FBI, GBI, and Georgia SOS conducted independent and simultaneous interviews of Fulton County elections workers who were involved in the processing and scanning of absentee ballots at State Farm Arena on election night. Investigators from the 3 law enforcement agencies also reviewed the entire unedited security footage of the events in question. Investigators independently interviewed party observers who were present. They did not uncover any violations. So it looks like Rudy Giuliani will be being let off the hook on that, which is good since there's a continued intentional prosecution of Trump and his associates, which we know is just full of crap. These people are looking for something that they can't find. I do want to talk about something interesting that is very brief, but Sheila Jackson Lee, the big black woman who was running for Houston mayor, ends up losing the mayoral race of Houston, and she basically ended up, losing to Whitmer. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. But she basically is a sore loser. Now she's rerunning for Congress, but she's much more progressive. Now, the guy who won is a Democrat. I just wanted to keep you up on that race. So there's still a Democrat in power from my understanding, but he's not as progressive. So at least people are coming back to somewhat common sense mentality. A very funny story that comes up as well is how out of touch people are with the average man. Elon Musk warned Taylor Swift as a singer takes shots at Chads, Brads, and Dads. Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has a warning for pop star Taylor Swift that you need to calm down. Singer was named Time's Person of the Year on Wednesday, sparking a response from Musk on his X social media platform. Congrats, Musk told Swift on her being Time Person of the Year. Now, he said some risk of popularity decline after this award. I speak from experience. Musk received the same title in 2021 and is known not to shy away from controversy. Last year, after acquiring X, he released internal company documents for publications as the Twitter files, exposing the platform's censorship at the time. While Swift is arguably at the height of her career and she is still on her wildly popular Eras tour, the 12-time Grammy winner did take a swipe at a specific group of football fans during the Time interview. Swift, who was in a relationship with Travis Kelce, the tight end for Kansas City Chiefs, spoke about fans' complaints that she has shown too often during the NFL telecasts. Again, she said, I'm just there to support Travis. She had no idea if she's on the camera 1 or 17 times, but she did say that she doesn't want to upset the Brads, Dads, and Chads, basically taking a swipe at the players, saying that, they're a bunch of meatheads. And that is possibly true, though. I don't watch the NFL anymore since they went woke. I never really did watch, to be completely honest. I've always been a little more heady, intellectual, and into information rather than into things like sports. But maybe you're into them and you know that they've gone woke, the BLM stuff, the trans stuff, the gay stuff. It's just too much. It's too much. I prefer my football to be not gay. It's possible. I know it seems insane, but it's possible. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching the Gateway Pundits Weekend Review. My name's Elijah Schaffer. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like on the video, follow us on our Rumble channel, and leave a comment and feedback below at thegatewaypundit.com. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. And Merry Christmas to all. I'm signing out.